Tapu, assalamu alaikum, namaste, harunefer. This is Qesankh with a special video for you. And in the video, I'm going to talk about the only way the ruling elite can win. But before I do that, I want you to hit the like button on this video. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. Also, I do have free ebooks for you. You can scroll down below, click on the links, download those ebooks, and start reading more about my spiritual teaching. If you want to take your knowledge to the next level, follow that rabbit down the rabbit hole, and become a Patreon supporter. You can do so for as little as $1. $5 or $20 per month, and you get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, videos that'll teach you how to put together a magical amulet, how to contact spirits so they can protect you, how to work with the ancestors, how to do self-hypnosis to curb overeating or get rid of negative habits, and also how to work with the Oracle's divination. And if you are an Osir level supporter, you'll get all your Oracle readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter. You can cancel at any time. Last but not least, share this video with family and friends so we can get this revolution started. So Huru Nefer, I wanted to make this special video just to talk about something that I think is of real concern. I see a lot of people who have good intentions that are talking about the mass media programming, the ruling elite, what can we do about them, how can we win this war? But one of the things that the ancient Kemetic goddess Ma'at teaches us is to look at our own actions, to look at our own mindset. You see, the ruling elite can never win if they don't have willing participants. And what do I mean by willing participants? You see, it's not just a matter of you saying, yes, I want to indoctrinate myself into the New World Order, into Satanism, into all of these things that are detrimental to me. You see, the things that the ruling elite are putting out there could not work if there wasn't that seed of evil within you. This is why you'll see the Chinese Yin and Yang symbols. And the Yin and Yang symbol each has a dot or a piece of the other. You see, for the ruling elite to be victorious, it's like a puzzle. One has to fit into the other. And right now, the fit is a perfect match. Because if you're not focused on ridding yourself of the ego, if you're not focused on 5D ascension, if you're not meditating every day, if you're not thinking through whole brain thinking and not polarized left brain segregative thinking, then if you're not doing these things, then you're supporting the ruling elite, the oligarchy, the ushering in of the New World Order by indirect actions. Many people will talk about the system and talk against the system, but their actions are that of wanting to support the system and engage in the system and get into the system. When you talk about the political system, you must understand that it's corrupt from the ground up. And you wanting to get in there to be a politician and do something that's good, supposedly, what you're doing is just supporting a broken system. Many people want to get into Hollywood, become famous filmmakers, actors, and they say, well, you know what, my work, my artistic expression will be more about love and light. Not really, because you're ego-centered. Your goals aren't altruistic. So you getting into the system in the first place is a direct admission that you're supporting the system. We're at a stage now where we realize that things just have to come down. We have to dismantle it, it has to be taken apart, that there's no way to reform it. But before we can do that, we have to fix ourselves. Because if we're able to fix ourselves, if we're focused on becoming Osir, God men, God women, on spiritual ascension, then there's no way that the pieces of the puzzle can fit. There's no way that the ruling elite can manipulate us and control us, because we're not ego-based. And that's what their whole system is predicated upon. The ego, the persona. If we are focused on understanding that we are consciousness, then there's no way they can manipulate us by telling us that we're a race, we're a gender, we're a political affiliation. Because we know who we truly are. God men and God women. But we're not focused on that. You see, we're all separated, and there's this factualism of, well, I am part of this movement. The MGTOW movement, the LGBTQ movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, the feminist movement, the men's rights movement. Once you start getting into those things, which are all ego-based, self-centered, this is why they're called special interest groups, then you have lost the self-awareness, the self-actualization of who you are and who you should be. They cannot win. They cannot manipulate us if we're focused on spiritual ascension. 5D, where all things are one, where we nullify the ego and connect directly with source through the right brain. Be sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit the like button so that it can communicate to YouTube's algorithm that this video should be shared, because we need to get this word out. The oligarchy needs you. They need you in order to sustain their corrupt system. Many people think just because they declare that they're against something, that they're fighting the system. Yet every day when they say, I'm this, I'm that, I'm male, I'm female, I'm a Democrat, Republican, I'm a liberal, I'm transgender, I'm this, I'm that, you are feeding the system. I have a PhD. I went to so-and-so university. I'm part of the boule. Those are all ego-based. That supports the very system that you claim to be against. I'm a Christian, so therefore I am of God. No. The mere fact that you declare that you're a Christian shows that you're operating on a segregated thought process out of the left brain, meaning you're separating yourself from connection to source and humanity as a whole. The mere fact that you engage in polarized thinking, meaning you think there's good, evil, and that these things are contradictory to one another and not complementary, shows that you're supporting the system. I don't label, define things. 2D says nothing has a quality in and of itself, so I don't go around passing judgment saying this is evil, this is good. I say, as the I-ching says, everything serves to further. This is why we have to look at in school systems when we say you fail, or failure is just a means to an end. Failure is good. It helps you realize and come to an understanding of where you need to go, the right thing to do. It is an essential part of winning. You must fail. You must learn. But we in the society are so polarized, we think that failure is wrong. When I teach my accelerated learning or super learning systems, I put an emphasis on how did you arrive at the correct answer. In my six-figure program, six-figure income program, when I'm teaching project managers, 50% goes to, yes, you got the right answer, but I need to know how you arrived there. Because the thought process and how you arrived at the right answer is just as important as the right answer. But we don't see things in the society as part of an ecosystem, a web of interdependence, and all things are connected. We separate them and say, wrong answer, right answer. If you want to be an Einstein, then think like Einstein. Don't just get all the answers right on a test. Learn the thought process of how Einstein thought, how he arrived at his hypothesis, how he arrived at his conclusions, at his paradigms. That creates genius thinking. But we live in a backward society. It's all about rote memorization. Rather than producing geniuses, it's just a matter of you regurgitating information, and we think somebody's intelligent and they're smart, and they're really not. Christians focus on doing good rather than spiritually transforming themselves to an actual Christ consciousness. I saw a minister do an entire sermon on how to give, reading from the Bible. I'm like, people know how to give. You don't have to do a sermon on that. You don't have to remind them. It's intuitive within them. But this is what our society is about. It's about shutting down your thought process and about having you just be a robot and do what they say. They cannot win if there is no seed of evil within you. If you rid yourself of the ego-based thinking, if you rid yourself of the fear, they can't manipulate you. They can't control you. It's game over for them. So you have to focus on not fighting them externally through laws and political committees and protests. What you have to do is focus on your own spiritual ascension, because when you do that, you eradicate the evil within you and you connect directly to Source and God, and there's nothing that they can do to harm you, control you, manipulate you. That's how you win. I want to thank you for tuning in today. This is Qesankh Ma Keparu Son of Ma'an Turi. Ma'at is the beautiful goddess Heteru. Until my next video, Amun Ra.